Well, consumer confidence has plunged to one of its lowest levels since the start of the pandemic, and that is despite the Reserve Bank keeping interest rates on hold this month. Joining me now is our business reporter, Edward Boyd. Ed, Australians with a mortgage are the least confident cohort in the country. No surprise.
No surprises there. Look, we know interest rates, there were 10 consecutive rate increases from the central bank, and then they kept rates on hold this month. So earlier this month, there was a little sugar hit to consumer confidence for that 1 week, the first week of April when the RBA kept rates on hold. But since then, consumer confidence has been falling. This is what it's done since 2014. You can really see how low consumer confidence is right now in comparison to the height of the pandemic in 2020. So we're pretty close to those levels. ANZ Roy Morgan say this is the 7th weakest reading of consumer confidence since 2020. We go to the next slide. This is what it's all about. Time to buy a major household item has been dropping quite sharply over the past couple of weeks. So basically, reading between the lines, people are putting a lot more money onto their mortgages. They're worried about paying off their mortgage. They're not buying things at the moment. So I think we can start to see this is one of the signs of deflation in the economy, Laura. Inflation, we know, is still too high in the country, but it's starting to come down. People are tightening up their spending, and we're starting to see impacts now through consumer confidence surveys like the one we've got today.
Yeah, these rate rises are certainly catching up. And later this morning, China's economic growth figures will be released along with the minutes from the RBA April board meeting. What are we looking for here, particularly from China?
Well, from China, we're expecting to see an economic rebound. This is for their first quarter. Now, remember, last year, China was in some very harsh lockdowns, so their economic growth was one of the weakest they've recorded since the 1970s. So the expectation for Q1 is a 4% increase, which is a pretty big bounce back for China, but it's still slowly getting back into gear, the China economy. So they're still not buying as much iron ore as they did in the past. They're not producing as much steel. But we're going to see a slow rebound from them. And then conversely, the Reserve Bank, the board minutes from the April meeting, they'll be released, and it's just going to give us more information around why the Reserve Bank decided to keep rates on hold this month as opposed to lifting rates, which quite a few economists thought they were going to do. So we'll get that explainer from the RBA board minutes at 11:30.
Love it. Ed, thanks so much for that.